What do you do when every school interview starts looking exactly the same? You change things up, starting with composition. In this video, I'll show you how I transformed a tight high school hallway into one of the most cinematic setups I've ever shot with just one light and zero pre-scouting. And now every client wants this look. Let me show you why composition is everything. Hello and welcome to another video, another breakdown, another BTS with your girl. I guess that's how I'm gonna start these videos, with your girl, Leah Low. I don't think people understand how difficult it is to start these videos because I'm too in my head. Like, do I say hi, hello, how are you? I don't know. So I'm gonna start this over for the 15th freaking time. Okay. Hello and welcome back to another behind the scenes episode. Today I have another interview, another 2-camera interview from a client that I had at the time of this recording last winter. I'm saying this because first and foremost, a video. So if you haven't known, I just want to throw this in here. I don't know what my future self is going to do and inject myself in other videos I've already filmed, but I film a lot of these videos ahead of time, like way before I posted them. This bit right here that I'm going to say is probably going to be a future video of, like, as far as strategy goes. I filmed like the majority of the videos that you've seen on this channel thus far were filmed sometime in April, and the jobs that I've been talking about were filmed a year or 2 years ago. But my goal is I wanted to be consistent with my YouTube channel. I wanted to go over things that I learned from these past shoots and things that I could have done better, and just give insight. So yeah, there's a video that got a lot of traction, got a lot of views, a lot of comments, and other videos had some controversies on LinkedIn, which was like crazy. But I think I want to clear the air in that a lot of these videos were filmed ahead of time so that I could be consistent, because I am a working cinematographer, traveling working cinematographer at that. And also too, what else? But yeah, a lot of these projects were in the past, and not so much like that my workflow has changed a lot. But there's like little things here and there that like I could have done better, or I've learned and I've gotten better at. But yeah, I just wanted to be consistent, come on here, talk about old work that I used to do or old projects that I had. And yeah, so I just want to make that, preface, because, you know, some comments are like, I don't know. I haven't really had bad comments. It was more on LinkedIn that was kind of like, what the heck? But anyway, that's besides the point. Welcome to the video. So anyway, we have a interview here, or let me start that over. So this interview took place in a high school in Springfield, Tennessee, and like the other videos that I have been going over on this channel, it was another project that I did not see. I did not see it beforehand. I just, hey, it's in the school. We're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. You know, come prepared. And so with each project, I try, you know, different things, bring less gear, refine the workflow to a point where like I was pretty confident and pretty quick and efficient with what I brought. And so this was there was Memphis, Dixon. Yeah, I believe there was one in Nashville, and then it was this one, I believe, or vice versa. Anyway, this was like the fourth or fifth project with this person, with this company, with this nonprofit. And it's funny, somebody commented on a previous video that I recorded about, like, you know, this is why I get photos or video of the location. I'm gonna say, if you're ever in a situation like this where it's last minute, essentially, because a lot of jobs I get are kind of last minute. I'm talking about like weeks notice, couple days notice. And so therefore there's no one to go in there and, you know, give me photos or video or anything of the space I'm going to film in. And then on top of that too, even if hey, we're going to film in the library or we're going to film in so-and-so's classroom, 9 times out of 10 we get there and we don't get to end up filming in that space. So I hope with these series and with this behind the scenes that it shows you that, or be prepared that you're just gonna have situations where you're not gonna get the photos or the videos of the space. You're really gonna go in there and just gonna have to take 10-15 minutes to figure out the best composition, to figure out where we're gonna shoot, and just kind of not prepare for the worst but hope for the best. So I just wanted to make that note that that's a good idea and that's great advice, and I definitely will use that advice in the future on if I can get photo or video of the space before I show up there. But sometimes, I'm not gonna say that's gonna happen all the time, but it's projects like these where no one's gonna go in there and give you anything, or if they do, they'll forget to send it to you, and it's like a whole thing, and you just have to be prepared to shoot or be prepared to create the composition that you need to be able to create, even though you didn't see the space. You're just gonna have to do the best, be creative, even if you have 5 or 10 minutes, and just do the best with what you got, work with what you got. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of I think a blessing in a way when you have projects like that, because then you're able to, like, when you do have the pre-visit and you do have the pre-production set, and like the product and the work is going to look phenomenal because you're able to prepare and see every aspect of the space and knew ahead of time before you even got in there how you were going to film it and how you were going to place the subject and all those different things. So anyway, but just I hope I wasn't rambling a little bit, and I hope that was helpful in some sort of way, some kind of way. Anyway, but per usual, arrived to the school, and of course they want to film in the library, and of course there was a meeting going on in the library, and I was just like to myself feeling like the library has been done so many times, and even with other videographers around the county or around the state that they had in different areas filming other teachers, it was done in a classroom. It's library, classroom, library, classroom, library, classroom. And so I was just like, I've always wanted to film in a hallway, because a hallway has the best composition because of the lockers. It's just, it is the epitome of leading lines. And so if I can film in the hallway, I'm going to film in the hallway. And so I was just like, hey, I'm going to say this too about this project. I'm going to be transparent, because this is why you guys are all here. I have struggled, thankfully no more, but in the past I have struggled with being the expert, the go-to person, the leader. That was a struggle for me. I will say that I was an introvert before I started. Well, I had to start this business because I couldn't get a job in my field that I spent $80,000 on, that degree. But that's another video for another day, maybe a mini doc. But still, I had to become an entrepreneur. I had to become extroverted. I think there is a term for the type of extrovert that I am. I'm not an extrovert, but if I have to be, I will be. So therefore it has been a work in progress to be the expert, to be the go-to person. And so when this shoot happened and I was like, we're going to film in the hallway, I never forget. Now granted, not only this, the individual who hired me for this, is also like, my boss, right? But he's also my friend and like my mentor. A lot of jobs that I have landed and have gotten me to be full-time has been through essentially mentors, which it's just been such a blessing for them to know that, like, clearly I'm not the most confident, clearly I'm not the most comfortable, but she's passionate, she has work ethic, she's reliable, she shows up, the whole thing. So this they kind of like whisper in my ear and tell me what it is that I need to do. They kind of do tell me, well, this one didn't. Another somebody in the past did tell me, like, this is how much you need to charge and stuff like that. Really walking me through it, and I will forever be indebted to them. Love them. I mean, great people to not just, like, I don't know, like, well, if she doesn't know what she does, we can't trust her, because she's not confident, or she, doesn't take initiative. We can't hire her. She's gonna, fumble the ball, whatever preconceived notion that you have about me not being competent or being, an extrovert, whatever, or taking command, whatever. And they helped me through it. And so in that moment when I was like, hey, we're gonna film in the hallway, he said, of course, whatever you want to do, you're the professional. And he didn't say it like in a sarcastic way. He was like, you're the professional. So whatever you think is best, where you think we need to go, that's where we're gonna go. I will usher everybody in. If it's clear across the school, we'll do that, right? And in that moment, y'all, I'm not saying this. What is it? The villain arc was born. The hero story, the hero arc was born in there. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am the professional. I do know what I'm doing, right? Better late than never, right? And so when that happened, I was like, all right. I did actually try to shoot in the classroom, and I wish I had some BTS footage of it. Of course, I wasn't recording with my glasses. I started recording later, but anyway, didn't do the classroom, and that's when I figured out, like, let's do the hallway. But it's funny, the first hallway that I came by that was super close to the library where they're all having the meetings, and they would come after they were done with their meeting to be interviewed, was like a super short hallway. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with those random, like, pocket hallways that are only like 3 feet long, but it's one of those. I was like, there's got to be a longer hallway. There's got to be a more reasonable hallway somewhere in this space. And so I went down to another hallway, and I found one. Now, the problem with that not the problem with the hallway, is the custodian was still down there getting some work done, and then also found out that we couldn't turn off the lights, which I'll talk about here in a second. But other than that, the hallway's perfect. It was a little walk from the library, but still, it was fine. And then, of course, we had some issues with the outlet, where I had to, like, get some gaffer tape and tape down my extension cord, because, like, when I was filming the second angle, you could see, like, the wire in it. So I had to go out of the hallway and into another hallway to plug it up, and it was a whole thing, and there was kids running. It was a whole thing. But that's why you have gaffer tape, and that's why you have an extension cord. So anyway, so we're down the hallway, we're getting set up, right? And the only problem that we ran into is the fact that I could not turn off the lights, or half the lights. So my vision, once I got down the hallway, leading lines, whatever, was the fact that I wanted to be able to have, like, not the lights. So this is another struggle that I have been working through, I guess, is white balance. This is something that I finally feel confident with white balance. But at the time of this project, I really wasn't comfortable with white balance. And even if I was, I still think it's a good rule of thumb. I haven't really heard anybody, argue against it, that you need to turn off all the lights and be able to control your lights, all the lights. So I wanted to turn off the lights that were in the hallway. I wanted, like, half the lights off. And I know that was possible. But once we got with the custodian, I'm thinking that maybe it's the light in the hallway, but then I'm thinking high school students are always going to be turn off lights doing stupid stuff. It's a breaker thing, or even, I mean, back in my high school, they used to have these little 2-prong keys that they would stick in and turn off the light. That wasn't even an option. It was like she had to go somewhere clear across the high school to turn off the lights. And I was like, that's too much. And honestly, she was not going to do it. And that's fair. She's ready to go home. So I was like, it's fine. We'll just work with it. And at the same time, though, even though all the lights are on and I'm battling, like, two different colored lights, like, my lights white balance is 56, and maybe possibly the lights in the hallway are like 6,500 Kelvin. So we got a little bit of mixed lighting. It kind of bothers the color grade a little bit, but I did my best, I had my monitor, so I was being able to monitor it that way. But it just really just was, at that point, the key light was just there to expose the left side of their face, and just kind of like what is it, like, flood, I guess, the subject. That's not how I want to explain that. That's not how I want to say that. Overcompensate, maybe? I don't know. I wanted my key light to be more of the color that hit their face than the overall lights in the space, because those are 6,500 Kelvin, so they're pretty warm, so the image is warm, and I wanted my light to kind of overpower that with a more neutral 5,000 Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. Of course, because the hallway's tight, there was no room for a hair light, but I just feel like with the hall lights, like those lights overhead, and depending on the subject, because some of these subjects were actually really tall, so you couldn't even see the light, but still, like, but no, like, that, just the light kind of, I don't know, like, the lights overhead kind of served like a separation from the background, so there's really no need anyway for that second light. And yeah, just I mean, I'm a sucker for leading lines. Like, I feel like that's my bread and butter. That's my MO. Like, I will look for anything with leading lines. But man, I love the lockers. I love the lights that go down the hallway and just leads right there to the subject. All eyes on it, and it looked great. Hated the lockers were like this weird, like, yellow mustard color, but that's yellow. They're yellow jackets. That's their name of the school. So it is what it is. But other than that, love the leading lines. Okay, so of course I'm sure you want to know exactly the gear that I used for the shoot. So let's get into that really, really quickly. So the usual tried and true camera kit was my Sony FX3, my Sony FX30, my Sony 34mm 1.4, my Sony 50 1.4, and my small rig 81. And I actually have an iFootage Gazelle TC3B with an added iFootage Komodo K5S fluid head. So let me just for 1 second just brag, okay, on the iFootage Gazelle tripod, okay? Because I actually took this tripod to Connecticut when I did the little mini documentary that we had with the Date with 48, and that housed like the monitor, the camera, the cage, the battery, the whole nine, on just the head that comes with it. But it's carbon fiber, carbon fiber tripod, so it's super light. It gets super compact. Like, I put it in my carry-on, and yeah, I cannot recommend this more as far as like a travel, lightweight, compact, but still like heavy duty tripod. Now, typically when I do take it, like if I say I wanted to put the FX6 on it and have that all rigged out, then I would need that Komodo head. But before I brought the Komodo head before I knew that I could just use the head that comes with it. But yeah, no, it was totally worth the money. It's great. Still don't really remember why I had that instead of my I hadn't bought it yet. That's why. Okay, but that's why I had that as a second tripod. But I just highly recommend that if you just need a tripod. Like, I've been on shoots where one of my tripods broke or something stupid happened, and I didn't pack. No, I did pack my tripod, but the plate wasn't in there. That's another video for another day. And I needed an emergency tripod, and that was one that I whipped out and didn't have to worry about the weight of my FX6 or anything like that, breaking the head of it, or just breaking it in general, because the weight was too much. So yeah, I can highly recommend that tripod. It's not cheap, but there's definitely more expensive options out there for sure, especially being carbon fiber, so highly recommend it. And let's talk about the accessories. So of course, the small HD monitor, small rig, 50-watt battery, my Connor Blue dummy batteries, and my iPad that I use for the Sony Creators app Mind and Control. Now, I've changed I still like the Sony app that I use to control this, but now I'm on the bandwagon with everybody else, every other filmmaker that's using monitoring. Plus, I'm actually using it right now for this video, because I did say in a previous video, or the video that did really good, really proud of that video, is that now I don't go anywhere without a monitor. I have to have my false colors. I have to be able to toggle between my LUT and my just toggle between my LUT. Like, cause right now I'm like looking at my monitor and I'm seeing I'm at 5,000 Kelvin and it's a little warm, but I'm like, my face is a little orange, right? And so I would change it in here, but I don't want to fool with that in post. But either way, like now, instead of going on my metering mode and stuff like that, I'm looking at my false colors. Actually, while I'm recording this, actually, let me just record this so you can have a little B-roll of what I'm doing. But anyway, as I'm like filming myself here, I'm able to toggle, look at my false colors, see where my skin tones lie. I'm in the green. Green means good. A little bit of purple, but I just like when I toggled off, I saw like my face looks pretty good. I really like that. Toggle off the the color just so I can see what it looks like with just a base LUT on it. And yeah, like, oh, I like how that looks, and yeah, I just like how that looks, and yeah, I love this app. Big fan of it. But yeah, it's very important to have the monitor so that I know what my skin tones look like and everything, and expose my shot correctly, because that's the bare minimum, baby. That's the bare minimum. So anyway, so there's that. And then of course, can't forget my audio kit, very important. On this shoot, I had the Rode NTG3 and the Sony XLR K3M. And the accessories I had with it is the newer microphone boom pole, an array boom pole holder with a shock mount, 25-foot XLR cable, because I need a little bit of distance on this shoot for sure, and the newer metal light stand, and a 15-pound sound bag, because I'm pretty sure I talked about, maybe I didn't, I don't remember, because like I said, I recorded a lot of this stuff a long time ago, that my boom mic almost fell over and hit somebody in the face. So, but I got cat-like reflexes. But once again, man, no one got hurt, but was like, yeah, no matter what, there's a sandbag somewhere in my car. And the lighting kit, fairly simple, very straightforward. Amaran 200X, Aperture Light Dome Mark III, and the accessories are the Chrome C-stand and an extension cord. Yeah, probably the easiest lighting kit that I ever had for a shoot. Kept it simple. And yeah, not much more I can say about that. I don't know, like I said, I shot a lot of this stuff beforehand, so I don't remember if I ever talked about how easy that thing is to set up. But I'm always a big fan and an advocate for any light box, any soft box that is either a pop, like just click it, or you pop it down. I don't have time to put in rods, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So if the daggone soft box is $600 because it pops into place, $600 it is. I do not have time to be putting in rods and whatnot. So anyway, this was $30 soft box. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Okay. So I believe that this video came out so well despite the fact that there wasn't, a hair light or like a rim light. I didn't, have any accent lights in the background, or was put some texture on the wall like I do here, or with what is that thing, a spotlight, or what else makes a video, a negative fill on the left side, or a bounce or anything like that. Just all this extra stuff is because of the composition. Simply because of the composition. It just gave the shot depth, gave it character, made it professional. And yeah, I think that made a big difference. I think composition always makes a big difference on something that can be really, really simple. So yeah, I don't want to belabor this point because I feel like I'll go down a rabbit hole, but I will say that this composition that I found in the hallway, or just already ahead of time, thought to myself that filming in a hallway with lockers is just like the easiest bleeding lines you could ever find. Yeah, it impressed a lot of people at this nonprofit. and I was being hired for very small things after that, which was really nice, especially for the bills. So I'm just saying, composition is everything. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I will die on this hill. I don't feel like it's a hill I need to die on. I feel like, professionals are like, yeah, of course, that's obvious, composition is. But just for those getting into this space, getting into this industry, study composition. I mean, I studied it a lot, but like, for real, study composition. It takes any average image, any average frame, and makes it instantly cinematic. I know the word has been abused and used a lot, but truly, and other things come into place as far as lighting and shaping light that makes things cinematic, but also too, composition is key, and composition is everything. And I will say, I feel obviously lighting, I couldn't shape light and do a lot with light, but that composition alone made that shoot look amazing. And so really hone in on that skill, as well as your shaping light, or knowing when to bring this amount of light to a shoot and when not to bring this many lights to a shoot. So that's it for me in today's video. Hope you got some value from this one. I'm not gonna lie, I know I've been I said this is futurely, I don't know how I can say this, because I know my videos are already planned out and I'm editing them as I go, and I'm batch recording them, and a lot were like batch recorded in April and in May and a random one in July. So like, if I was rusty on this video, just know there was like a 3-month hiatus, and I would love to get back to doing this once a month so that I don't get rusty like this. So if I feel off, I'm sorry. And if I don't, you didn't notice a thing and I brought attention to it, I'm sorry about that as well. But that's it for me. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend, because sharing is caring. And of course, I will catch you in the next video. I don't think it's even a behind the scenes video. I think it's a fun one, but still, with all videos I post, I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, like, subscribe, share with a friend, because sharing is caring. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.